transgenderism in schools. You'll be familiar, because I know you've commented on this extraordinary story of this 4-year-old primary school student in a Church of England school, is a boy, has been allowed to go to school as a girl, aged 4, and we learned this morning from the Sunday Times that fellow pupils and indeed their parents weren't informed. First of all, should we have 4-year-olds allowed to identify as a different gender?
No. No, we shouldn't. And this is why we brought out the guy not in primary school. And
what do you say to the accusation that's been made of you many, many times, that you're a TERF, that you're a transphobic person, that you're not standing up for the rights, not just of, you know, people who don't identify as different genders, but of transgender people?
Well, the fact that they're resorting to abuse rather than making the argument shows what those people are like. We want to make sure that genuine trans people are able to live their lives with dignity and in privacy, and for you know, to have a community be kind to them. What is happening is you have a lot of other people with a different agenda piggybacking on it and actually making life more difficult for those genuine trans people. We need to be able to explain what it means. We didn't have this problem 20 years ago. And when I speak to people who have been transgender for decades, they say that our lives were fine until people decided to take us up as a cause.
Do you think it's been a trend, particularly among younger people, to identify as a different gender?
There's certainly social contagion. So I have come across cases where some children feel that they're being bullied and they need a label to protect themselves, and they feel that if they say they're trans, then people will treat them differently. So we should be dealing with the underlying cause, bullying. We see a lot of comorbidities. That means other issues being present, as well as children claiming that they're gender questioning, such as being autistic, for example. There's a lot that's going on in this space, and it is still quite new. And what we shouldn't be doing is putting children on a pathway to making irreversible decisions, because if you start telling a 4-year-old that they're a girl, not a boy, they're going to take that with them till they're 18 and possibly...
I mean, would you like to see puberty blockers stopped being prescribed to children unless, you know, perhaps they're intersex or there are medical explanations for it? Would you rather not see puberty blockers prescribed?
I don't think they should be the first port of call if somebody is presenting as gender questioning. So there is an affirmation pathway where someone comes to you and says they're a different gender, and you immediately start giving them drugs. That should not be happening. Puberty blockers actually have some very good uses. I know of a case of a 5-year-old boy who was starting puberty.
Right.
It's just a,
so a medical case then?
Yes, that's what it's there for. It shouldn't be there for lifestyle presentation or anything like that. This is a very serious thing. It is something that requires medical diagnosis, gender dysphoria, and we should treat it like that, not as a social change in and of itself.